What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, LoBaggers? As you can tell, our TriCaster is still down, so we are doing a Google Hangout, but it will not stop the capping. Also, my lungs are still messed up, so there could be a breakdown at any moment. Over the last weekend, I was fine sitting up, and I'm doing the show sitting up, so everything should be fine, but expect the unexpected when you're watching Low Shack in the Bag. It is February 11th. At 11 a.m. Eastern Time. This is Low Shack in the Bag. My partner, the legend, Lodos Loshak, is not with us today, but he will be back soon. And Pete, wherever you are, we love you very much, and I can't wait to have you sitting beside me. Last week was a rough week, especially in NHL, and I know that if Lodos was here and I could peer into that magic mustache of his, it wouldn't have been so bad. So a couple things. One, I have to stay calm. Obviously, that doesn't make for good videos, some good content, but I have to stay calm. If I get excited, I can already feel it coming up. I break down. So that's one thing. I have to stay calm. I can't scream, and I can't laugh. That becomes more difficult when I'm working with the great Maxwell Smart, who will be joining us later this show. Okay, gotta stay calm. Again, I have to stay calm. Secondly, as long as my lungs keep their shit together, I will be in Los Angeles next week. I'm taking the Low Shack in the Bag show on the road, straight out of LA. I can't wait to be in LA. We're going to have huge special guest appearances from, amongst others, Whale Capper, King Rail, J Money is Money, DJ Big Boss, Trot Wham, Parlay Poppy, Noli Knows, and more. Dave LA and more. It's going to be huge. It's going to be crazy. All the LA cats that we run with in the chat will be live with me in the studio. And the morning shows are going to take place at my dad's probably because it's 8 a.m. out there. Sorry. This is another reason why I desperately need Lodos Low Shack. Okay, I got to stay very calm. Very calm. Jansen says, did we fire Pete Low Shack? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I wouldn't have a job here. None of us would have there would be no video department if it wasn't for Lodos Loshak. Okay, I've got to stay calm. Mark Jones says, change the name of your show. You're never together. Only if you've only been watching the show for the last 4 or 5 weeks, Mark. But if you've been watching our show for the last year and a half, we're together all the time. Okay, I'm very close to breaking down here. Oh, man. Okay. I don't know if this makes for good content. I don't know the fact that I may buckle at any moment makes for good content. I know Larry doesn't make for good content. The fact that I'm about to buckle at any moment. Okay, just very scared faces from the control booth. Okay, gotta stay calm. Okay, I'm not looking at the chat right now. I bet you it's horrifying, but let me give a shout out to the people on the chat. King Rail in the house. Odar Lira, You Got Moss, Trainer Tone, Kenny Davis, Vegas Gun, Yo in the house, Matt Randall in the house, Dave Alley, big up in the house, Ron Lofton, the Misanthropic Nihilist in the house, Rosie, Ski Prophet, You Got Moss again, JC Alvarez, Nut Flush Allen, Julian Cesario, my man Julian Cesario. Hopefully we'll be making a live appearance on Low Shack in the Bag in Los Angeles. DJ Big Boss, Armin Hinosa, Jansen Bonson, Anna Merrick, Angel Romero. Okay, gotta stay calm. Okay, gotta stay calm and take deep breaths. Okay, now, Gate Passkey says, is this the place of Low Shack in the Bag show? I know, Gate Passkey, we have lost our TriCaster, but why don't we start, okay, by giving a shout out to our man Gate Passkey, who was on the under in Rangers Hurricanes on Friday night when I was on the over. Man, you called that expertly well. You broke that game down very, very well. It was a mistake, me not being with you. Okay. Shout out to Vegas and shout out to all you guys. Okay, now we got to get down to business. Okay, let's forget about the fact that I might break down at any point. Mikey D says, Jimmy, just put Max on now. Give him home. Okay, I feel you. Okay, Flipper 13, Steven Island House. Okay, let's get to work. Now, we can't show records because we don't have the TriCaster going, but I can tell you things were in excellent shape. Excellent shape coming into last week, and my NHL fell apart. Still up double-digit units, but barely in NHL. NBA ended last week poorly. Was almost at my high water mark again in NBA, and it ended poorly. Still up double-digit units, but NCAA basketball is rolling, and it's because I'm letting Max do all the work. That's why. Maxwell Smart is doing all the work, and we're going to get all the records up as soon as we get the TriCaster rolling, but exceptionally well in NCAA basketball, just rolling with our man Maxwell Smart. Okay, I feel better. I feel like I'm rolling. Let's get to work. Chad Ocho says, yo, Jimmy, that shit is curable. You just need to detox from that mucus. Thank you, Chad Ocho. Okay, let's not worry about me. Scott says, was worried about Jimmy, now I'm worried about Pete. Don't worry about either of us. And Pete and I will be sitting back together on the Low Shack in the Bag show very soon, and I will be healthy, and all will be okay. Okay, that was a wild intro, and I'm sorry for my almost breakdown, but let's get to work. I got the chat on here, and let's roll. Let's start with NHL. Let's start with Penguins at Flyers. Now, Matt Murray's been dealing with an injury. I have him listed as the probable starter, which I find that very difficult to believe. If you guys know any better, please let me know. Also, Carter Hart will be in goal for the Flyers. Now, when he came in, we talked about another young kid who came in for a team called the Montreal Canadiens named Patrick Waugh, or even Ken Dryden, and he's doing those types of things. Now, Ken Dryden came in very late in the year. Patrick Waugh was there for the whole year, or not the whole year, but they both came in late. And Carter Hart has done the same job. 11-5-1, 2.44 goals against average, 926 save percentage. Flyers are 9-0-1 over the last 10. They're coming off an easy 6-2 win at home over the Ducks on Saturday night. Carter Hart, 30 saves on his 8th consecutive win. Couturier playing great hockey. Got a goal and 2 assists, 23 goals, 25 assists on the year. Giroux playing very well. This is a healthy squad rolling. And now they play this Penguins team that's lost their 4th game in a row, 5-4 in Tampa on Saturday night. Since that 8-game winning streak, the Penguins are 5-8-1. Still no Malkin. He's questionable to play against the Flyers. He's missed 5 straight games. He continues to wear a no-contact jersey in practice. Nick Bjugstad, the 6'6", newly acquired Nick Bjugstad, is hurt. He hurt himself. Some sort of undisclosed injury in the 3rd period, Saturday versus Lightning. He did not return. The Pens are going to get a boost from Justin Schultz, but when? But when is the question. But when? Hart says, Jimmy, I'm getting scared. Do we need to put an APB out on Peter? No. Everything is going to be fine. Everything is going to be just fine. Hey, you guys know, one of the good things about watching Low Shack in the Back is you never know what the hell's going on with Pete and I. We have ups, we have downs, and we have health issues and stuff like that. So it's been a mess. It's been a messy year, but we will be back together where we belong, me peering into his mustache. In saying all this, it feels like the right time to fade the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't like backing a team after a very easy victory, like the one they just had against the Ducks. And I'm talking about the Flyers here, and it got Randy Carlyle. Well, it wasn't the one game that got Randy Carlyle fired. But I certainly feel like if you're going to get a plus line on this Flyers squad in this situation, that you just have to take it. If they're going to be out without Bjugstad, they're going to be without Malkin. Murray's dealing with the injury. I have to take it, and I will take it. I'm seeing a plus 107 at Bet Online, and I will take it. I'm going to take the Flyers money line. Flyers money line plus 107 available at Bet Online. All right, you got Moss says Flyers plus 105 is the play. Jim Foray says Penn's Flyers game goes over easily. It does, but as you guys know, something that I've done in my whole career capping NHL is I just don't take over 6.5s. And I don't really like under 5.5s. And I'm not really a totals guy, and I beat NHL every year, and I just keep the same simple system. Yes, this game is very likely to go over the 6.5, but I'm just not going to take it. I just don't like those 6.5s, and I'm not going to take it. Let's keep rolling. Something wrong technically, Jim. What's going on? We got a problem here? What's going on? Everything okay? Dan, you mean because we don't have the TriCaster, Dan? Yes, sorry, you scared me. Yes. Something is wrong technically. Something is wrong physically. But the capping is still being very good. Thanks to the great people in the chat. Okay. Baco Healy says, please tell me SBR didn't let Pete go. No, of course not. We have not let Pete go. Pete, none of us would be here if it wasn't for Pete. Let's all stay calm. Let's all be cool. Okay? Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to, there's ups and downs in life, and there's ups and downs on this show. Everything is going to be fine. My man Elio Rodriguez says, I believed and went 5-0 tailing Max, 5-1 on my plays. Thank you. Yes, Maxwell Smart will be here in no time. Gate Passkey says, Pens are impossible to figure out. Something different going on that I cannot put my finger on. They can win by 4 tonight or lose by 3. Fucking pass. Listen, Gate Passkey. And shout out to Rob Portwando. The Penguins, I believe, are going to go on a big run. It's just that they need Malkin, and they need Bukestad, and they need somebody else, which I believe they're going to do. I believe they're going to make a big move before the trade deadline. Walla Walla Dos says something's wrong technically, something's wrong physically, but the capping is still not top-notch. Shout out to Walla Walla Dos. Yes, I believe – I don't think the Penguins are that difficult to figure out right now, truly, the way I see it, Kay Paskey. Now, I would love to hear your input. You're an exceptional NHL capper. Well, the way I see this, the Penguins went on an 8-game winning streak, healthy altogether. They started losing, then the All-Star break kind of came at the wrong time. They started losing games. They lost Malkin. Now they've lost Bukestad. Now is the time to fade them. But as soon as they get healthy and get one more reinforcement at forward, I think they're going to be a very, very difficult team. Now, they better do that soon. Or they won't even make the playoffs. The Hurricanes are just 1 point behind them. Okay, let's keep rolling. I'm on the Flyers plus 107 money line. Now, this is another spot. Now, this hasn't really been working for me too well the last month or so. But the Kings are winning hockey games right now. And with this team winning hockey games, I believe we're getting a nice number to fade them. Now, it's not that nice. It's not that good. And the last time I said that was the Ducks-Senators game that blew up in my face. So I understand that. Nate the Great says, I like Kings money line, quick play good against Caps, and they're struggling right now. Al Hart says, life is full of ups and downs, smiles and frowns to me. You know it, Al Hart. That is well put. B. Fulton in the house. Thank you for joining us. Billy Babble in the house. Okay. And, wow, Dan Kelly, full game New York Knicks money line. That makes a ton of sense to me, Dan. That makes a ton of sense to me. We'll get to NBA very soon. I am not going to take the Kings here. I'm going to take the Capitals on the puck line. This is a healthy Capital squad. This is an LA Kings team that's playing good hockey for the first time all year. They're without Jeff Carter. Look at the guys who scored goals for them in the last game. Oscar Fantenberg, Alex Iafallo, he's been good. Anza Carpenter, who's had a bad year, but he's a good player. And Nate Thompson. Now, there's good and bad from that. Yeah, they're getting goals from the depth players whom they need goals from, but they're not getting the guys who they need to step up. Fred Gialli says Kings money line for me too. Listen, this is the 6th game of a 6-game road trip for the Kings in the cold Northeast. They want to come back to LA. This is the 6th game, I believe. Let's see, the Capitals here, final game of a 6-game homestand for them. They've only gone 3-2 so far. That's unacceptable. They're going to go. They need to win this game. They're taking too many minor penalties. They're allowing a ton of power play goals. This is a completely healthy squad that knows they need to win this game. Ernest Walsh says Kings plus 1.5 safe bet to me. I don't take plus 1.5 ever. That's another thing that I don't do in my, with my NHL. But I can understand at times when people do it. I just never do it. I just have these hard, fast rules that I use in NHL. Allison says big night for Holtby. I think this is going to be a big night for the Capitals. 6th game of a 6-game homestand. I like backing teams on the 4th and 5th game, but this is different. They've only gone 3-2 in these 5 games so far. The Kings have been great on this road trip. They're not going to make the playoffs. They want to go home. They can lose this game and still have a great road trip. They don't have Jeff Carter in the lineup. To me, this is a perfect spot to fade the Kings, even though they've been playing so well. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm taking the Capitals minus 1.5. Let's get to it right now. Got to do some quick line shopping. Capitals minus 1.5. It's gone down too. It keeps going down. Plus 140 at Pinnacle. I'm not going to bother line shopping. No time. I almost yelled no time. I would prefer to be yelling. See, Chris Temple says Caps win big tonight. Listen, now it's not as tricky as NBA, NHL, but I find that when a bad team is winning hockey games, you get more value fading them. That's an easy, simple thing to say. Now, also, it's tricky because look at Baskin of Kings 12-3 in their last 15 games. Listen, I love this spot for the Capitals. This is a LA team that knows they're not going to be in the playoffs, that wants to go back to the sunshine and wants to go home. Mr. Gosher says plus 140 market wide. Dan Kelly says DeAndre Jordan, Dennis Smith make New York a different read. Much better team. I agree. Okay. And Jim Ford says Caps lost the Kings 3 straight. I'm Billy Babble. Billy Babble says Kings over 5.5. I thought about that move quite closely. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And I may just continue thinking about it. But that's my spot. Capitals minus 1.5 at plus 140. Let's roll. Now, Sharks, Canucks, under 6.5. Now, I wanted this under 6.5, and Dave LA was like, money's coming in on the under. You should get to it now. But then we had all this issue with the TriCaster still not working, and I didn't even get the bet in. I haven't made this bet, but I believe it's still available, and the line is getting worse, as Dave LA said. I see a minus 109 at Pinnacle. I won't bother line shopping. I will just take that. Under 6.5 at minus 109. Now, you guys know, if you guys follow me for now, we've been doing this with NHL The Guy for 2 years. I love the under 6.5s. I take them all the time, and I hit it a nice percentage with them. I'm doing it again here. Now, this could lose, but Markstrom's playing well. He played well against the Flames, better than it even looked in that shootout victory over the Flames. And I just think that this is a spot where the Canucks know that the Sharks are the class of the division. The Sharks can go off and win the division. Jesse Cool says Canucks looked so good Saturday. This is a special Canucks squad. Listen to this. Elias Pettersson, who scored the shootout winner, 50 points in 45 games. 3 players in the last 25 years have scored 50 points in their first 45 games. Sidney Crosby, Alexander Ovechkin, and Evgeny Malkin. That sounds like a pretty goddamn group. Pretty good goddamn group to be involved with. Sorry about the goddamn it. Alex Edler, Sven Barchi are out with concussions. This is a Sharks team that's rolling. They're rolling without Erik Karlsson. This could actually be a bit of a letdown spot for them here. 5 straight wins. They won 5-2 in Edmonton on Saturday night. They won 5-2 in Calgary on Thursday night. They're getting production up and down their lineup. Kevin LeBlanc is coming off a hat trick against the Oilers. Evander Kane scored a goal and an assist to give him 13 in 2019. This is a team that's absolutely rolling. The Sharks are absolutely rolling, and I think they're going to put money in our pocket, like I've been saying all year, with future spots. I think they're going to win this division. Thankfully, I hedged my Flames spot. I put 500 on the Sharks at plus 200 when I put 300 more on the Flames at plus 160, so obviously it won't be that. It'll only end up being a $600 win in the Pacific Division because I have the $100 on the Flames at plus 560 from the beginning of the year. I have 200 on the Sharks to win the West. I have 200 on them to win the Cup, one at 10-1, one at 15-1. I think this is a special hockey team that will be rolling. Richie Rich joining us says Sharks 4-0, last 4, head-to-head. This is a Canucks team that's improving, but I hear that. Gabe Pasky says Sharks pushing to be dominant. Would be irresponsible not to take them on the puck line for the next 2 weeks. I love that. Really like the Canucks at home, though. Canucks money line is my play tonight. Oh, God, Gabe Pasky, that is really well done. Scott says, Jimmy, I never see you take plus 1.5 puck lines. That's cool. Just curious about your thought process. I never do. I never, ever do. If I'm going to take a dog, I want the payout. I don't take big dogs to hit at a plus 105 or a small dog to hit at a minus 140 to turn into a favorite. That makes no sense to me. Absolutely no sense. You take the dogs for the big scores. That's why I never take anything worse than minus 130 ever. And it was minus 135. Now it's minus 130. I never take plus 1.5s ever. I have very, very simple rules in NHL, and I continue to beat NHL year after year with those rules. All right, that's my NHL. Flyers plus 107 money line. Capitals minus 1.5 at plus 140. And Sharks Canucks under 6.5 at minus 109. All right. That's what it is. Troy V in the house. Regular in the house. Chris Temple says, why pay juice on dogs? Absolutely right. It's just, you got to go for big scores in NHL. Now, at the beginning of the year, I said, okay, listen, I'm going to take all the dogs minus 1.5 for huge scores. That just wasn't working out for me. 2 things happened. One, when I knew in my subconscious that I would have to take the minus 1.5 on a dog, I was taking less dogs. And I'm, I was looking over the numbers. Last year was different than this year, but this year, taking dogs at plus 140 to plus 180, like we had the Oilers against Minnesota, which saved my night. That would have been just a horrifying night if I didn't have the Oilers in that one. I'm winning. I'm more confident doing it. Very simple stuff. Shout out to Jive Man. Shout out to Daryl Lyle. Shout out to Sackdown King. Shout out to Pie Guy. Okay, let's get to work in NBA. We're going to have Maxwell Smart joining us in 25 minutes. We have 25 minutes set aside for NBA. This is a very interesting card. And right off the top, I like what Dan Kelly's thinking. I like that Dan Kelly's on the Knicks here. Let's talk Knicks, Cavs. Let's talk about the 2 teams that are trying for Zion, a battle of ass. Knicks tied a franchise record, 16 straight loss Saturday, but they look pretty good in that 104-99 loss to the Raptors. Moutier, Nick Ntilikina are out for the Knicks, so we're going to see a ton of Dennis Smith Jr. He's getting more comfortable with the team. Pie Guy says Ottawa plus 1.5 the other night against the Leafs, though it was a nice play. Oh, Pie Guy, you're going to find nice plays with the plus 1.5. This isn't like all plus 1.5s are bad. I just maintain these very simple rules, and I just never mess with them, ever. And it's just what works for me. Everybody has a different thing that works for them. For me, it really does work when I just keep these simple rules and stick with them. Okay, let's keep rolling. You got Moss as Hakeem Profit is on the under Knicks Cleveland 211. Very interesting. I think that might be. Bob Rubin says haven't been around for a while. Why they changed the look for the LoBag set? Just problems. The signs look bad with this when we don't have the TriCaster, but and we don't have the TriCaster right now, so that's what's going on. We don't have the TriCaster working. Hopefully, we'll have it up for the late show. We need the TriCaster because that's all our graphics and our opening, and so trust me, this is not the way we want to look. But the show must go on, and we must find winners. Okay, Thomas Corrigan says sorry, but can't agree. They're still one of the worst teams in the NBA. Now they're on the road. Cavs should end up winning this. Thomas Corrigan, a great NBA capper, and you want to be on the same side as him. YBNVS Shepard says, Noli knows. Do you have a Twitter account? He sure does. And I'm on it all the time, always seeing what Noli knows is on, especially with his unders. Odar Lear, Knicks plus 1.5, Knicks first quarter. And Dan Kelly says, Charts love Knicks. Both teams 3 games in 4 nights, but not back-to-back. Listen, I agree with Dan. I took a really good look at these two rosters this morning. Was like, the Knicks roster is so much stronger than this Cavs roster. I know Knicks have lost 24, 25, 29, and 31, but that was a different team. And I know they're all trying to lose. The 3 worst teams in the NBA are very close together with the Knicks, Cavs, and Suns. And remember, the 3 worst teams in the NBA have equal odds. So unless the Bulls, who are 13 and 43, get into that group, you just need to be in that group. You just need to be in that group. Cavaliers losing streak hit 4 games Saturday, beaten 105-90 by Indiana in Indiana. Cleveland dropped 22-25. That includes a 12-game losing streak. This defense is terrible. They've allowed at least 100 points in 12 straight games, 23 last 25. C.D. Osman questionable. Tristan Thompson out with a foot injury. Kevin Love returned from his foot injury Friday, played 6 minutes, didn't play Saturday. Maybe we see more of him in the lineup. If you do see more of him, it's not going to help. This guy's not rolling. This guy's not comfortable. It's not going to help. Listen, I agree with Dan. I think the Knicks are just a better squad, and I can understand not wanting to take the Knicks on the road here. Look at this team is, lost 16 straight times? I think it ends here. I'm going to quickly look at the money line for the New York Knicks. Let me see a nice little plus spot, and I do. I see a plus 107 at 5 dimes. That looks good enough for me. I'm on the Knicks, plus 107. Let's keep rolling. Jim Foray says Knicks easy, losing streak ends. You got Moss says, yeah, I agree. They're not trying to lose since the lottery add-on. Hamza saying you like the Knicks today. Yes, I do. Elio says I agree with the Knicks as well. Sacktown King says Knicks are doing great. Ski Profit, God, just a man with spectacular stats. Ski Profit will be live on Low Shack in the Bag as much as possible when I'm in LA next week. Shout out to my man Ski. Says when the line was 209 to 212, Knicks under 3-0. Cavs 6-1. Knicks under 9 of last 10. Wow. Cavs under 5 of last 7. 24th and 25th pace. Bottom 5 offensive ratings. Wow. That makes sense. Joe Faraday says, Jimmy, you're going against your patent Cavs first quarter. Yes, I'm not going to do it. And listen, this is the only time we're going to take the Cavs first quarter. And when Drew Martin was sitting beside me on Friday, he's like, I'm going to take that Cavs first quarter. I warned him off the play, and yet I still didn't do it. That was a mistake. We only take Cavs first quarter when they're playing against a team that has no respect for them whatsoever. And the problem with the Wizards Friday was the Wizards had just lost them the week before. That the play made note that has to happen. The Cavs have to be going up against a team that has absolutely no respect and is going to start slowly. And this doesn't work here because why would the Knicks not have? The Knicks see this as another NBA team, and they've lost 16 in a row to NBA teams. It just doesn't work. I'm only going to hammer that. Yellow Jesus says Pete got kidnapped by some Costa Rican gangsters. No, Pete has not been kidnapped. Pete is safe. Pete will be here in no time, and we miss Pete very, very much here on Low Shack in the Bag. Okay, so I'm on the Knicks plus 107 money line. It makes sense to me. Let's keep rolling. Wizards at Pistons. Pistons traded Reggie Bullock to the Lakers. They traded Stanley Johnson to New Orleans. They picked up Mikhailuk. They picked up Thon Maker. Both made their debuts. Both are going to get a very small amount of time. Casey played 12 of the 13 Pistons on the bench in the first half last game. Very, very strange, but he's just trying to get a look at these guys. Shane Calmer in the house. So Jimmy, what up? Haven't seen you since I gave you that 2 OKC third in the covers. I got to play for you today as well. Looking forward to hear it. Noli knows in the house. Okay, let's keep rolling here. Drummond Another 20-20 game. He went for 29 points and 20 boards against the Knicks. They've now won 3 straight games against bad opponents, but they beat the Knicks 120-103 last game. They've signed Wayne Ellington. I'm not sure how much run he's going to get. Pistons are a healthy group right now. Now the team split their first 2 meetings on the season. Detroit won at home 106-95 December 26th. Washington won 101-87 at home January 21st. The Wizards have gotten a boost, a legitimate boost from the 2 players they acquired from Chicago. They traded Otto Porter for Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis in the 2 wins. He's been in 2 games, 20 points, 9 boards, 3 assists. Jabari Parker's looked good too, 13.5 points, 8 boards, 7.5 assists, 2 steals. Very impressive stuff. Parker had 20 points in the 134-125 victory over the Bulls. Jeff Green has a hip injury. He's questionable tonight. We'll see a lot more run from Parker. Let's see what you guys have to say about this. King Rail says, if no Jeff Green, Pistons are the play. Wait for this update. Nolino says, Jimmy, I have a rare NBA pick. Brooklyn, Toronto, under. Any thoughts? Yes, I have many thoughts on that, and I'm looking forward to break that game down. But let's just try and stay in order. James says Detroit money line. I like what I've seen from the Wizards with their 2 new players, but taking a team that's 7-21 on the road just makes no sense. Let's get a quick look at what the line movement has been in this Wizards game. And we have Max joining us in 18 minutes, so we got to keep a brisk pace. Detroit 4.5-point favorites, 5 at 5 dimes, 5 at Heritage, 5 at UWager. Open at 3.5 at Bet Online. They're at 4.5. The total open at 220. Now we have 222.5 and 223. Dave LA comes in and says, in the past years, NBA cappers have told me to take dogs the week before the All-Star break. Most top players won't work as hard as they get ready for the All-Star game. That makes sense. But there's not that many players, heading towards the All-Star break, especially when you see the Wizards at Pistons. But I think that makes sense. Dave LA, and it's a great note. Fred Gialli says, absolutely no defense on the Wizards. I like the over. I agree with that. Barham Dog Jen says, Detroit is playing great. I still can't trust Detroit's outside shooting. I still can't trust them. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this game and not make a move here. Wizards at Pistons. Mally Mal says, pass game. Okay, Noli knows, like in the under in Brooklyn, Toronto. We're going to get to, why don't we just get to that right now? Nets at Raptors. Raptors coming off that ugly 104-99 win at Madison Square Garden on Saturday night. Marcus Gassol's first game in the Raptors uniform. He looked pretty good. 19 minutes, 7.6 boards, just 1 assist. He would have had more assists, but they were missing shots when he was hooking them. He hadn't played in 6 days. Kawhi Leonard missed a win over Atlanta with a sore knee. Comes back to score 11 points on Saturday. I'm telling you what. Oh, and Dave L.A. says, I'm taking Wizards. Interesting. Jess Daly says, Jimmy looks blue literally. It's just if my lips turn blue, that's when we got to call 911. And that almost happened a few minutes into the show. I would love to have more energy too in this show. I would love it. But then I'll have another breakdown. So I got to stay cool. I got to stay relaxed. And I'll let Max deliver the laughs because, I can't even laugh either. Listen, if you're going to take the Raptors any game from here on in, I would say wait. Wait till you know that Kawhi Leonard is in the lineup. We're going to be resting him a lot down the stretch. So wait. Ski Prophet says, I agree with Rail on the Pistons logic. King Rail says, Wiz are too small, the 4 and 5 versus Detroit. If Green sits, then Detroit covers easy. Yeah, I mean, obviously we thought their 4-5 would be Markieff Morris, and Dwight Howard. So it's much different than we expected. But Jabari and Portis do give them a little bit more size and a little bit of life. But I hear what you're saying. You got Moss says, Gokster, how's that rash coming along? Very interesting stuff. Raven in the Desert coming in, giving his college basketball plays. I will copy and paste that and bring it up in our college basketball segment. All right, here. Now let's talk about this Nets team that looks almost a bit reminiscent of this Heat team when Heat have too many guards ready to go because they get Crabbe back after missing 26 games with a knee injury. LeVert back after missing 42 games with that dislocated foot injury. They've not looked good in these last 2 games. They lose to the Bulls on Friday, 125-106. Crabbe had looked much better, 19 points in 21 minutes Friday, but he had 5 points on his first game back Wednesday. I bet you LeVert will look better this game. He actually looked pretty good, 11 points, 15 minutes. No Dinwiddie, no Dudley. Tamari Carroll out with knee soreness. He's somebody you actually want against the Raptors because he played for the Raptors. He played in Toronto. He usually steps up defensively in this spot. Thomas Gorgim says Jabari Parker simply doesn't play defense. Signing him for $20 million was one of the dumbest things I've seen in a long time. Mally Mouse says, sounds like an over. Now, do you trust this Nets Raptors team? Either of them right now. They both don't look like they're playing the way they usually play, but that total's gone up. open at 226.5 at BetOnline, now 227.5. The spread open at 11, now 10.5 across the board. Interesting spot. And Dave LA also hitting that auto bet fade Pelicans first quarter. Okay, that's another game I'm going to wait. I want to ensure that Kawhi plays. I'm never going to take the Raptors again in the morning. And I haven't been doing it for months, so I shouldn't say again, but I'm not going to be taking the Raptors anytime in the morning. Let's move on to Hornets at Pacers. Pacers won their 5th straight game, 105-90 at home over the Cavs. They've been playing minnows, but they look good. 5 straight wins without Oladipo. They have 6 players, not counting Oladipo, averaging double figures, led by Bojan Bogdanovic, 16.8 per game. He led the team with 23 points on Saturday night. You got Sabonis, 13 and 10. Corey Joseph stepping up, 1 rebound away from a triple-double off the bench. Very impressive, 10, 10, and 9. Jansen Bonzen from Toronto. Okay, I got to slow down again, sorry. Jansen Bonzen from Toronto says, fade Raptors as a double-digit favorite. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense to me, fading the Raptors as a double-digit favorite. But again, we need to know what's going on with Kawhi before we make any moves there. So let's keep breaking down this Hornets-Pacers game. 5-game winning streak. Indiana has allowed more than 94 points just once. Now, I know they're playing against really bad basketball teams, but they lead the NBA in scoring defense with 103.1 points per game. Miles Turner is questionable with a right knee injury. He collided with Marquise Chris on Saturday night. We need to find out what's going on with Miles Turner if you are going to back the Pacers in this spot. Hornets coming off a 129-120 win at Atlanta on Saturday night. Kemba Walker goes for 37. He's gone over 34 straight games. Cody Zeller back in the starting lineup in his 3rd game back from that injury where he missed 16 games with a broken hand. He's averaged 8.3 points, 10.7 boards in his 3 games since his return. He runs the floor so well for a big man. And Tony Parker will also be out of the lineup, it looks like, for these Hornets. Ski Prophet says Tony Parker is doubtful. Lamont Williams in the house. Joe Flaherty says Pacers destroyed Charlotte last time they played them. I feel like this game should be a revenge game for Charlotte, but they're so bad on the road. Very difficult to trust the Hornets on the road. Almost impossible. Thomas Corjum says Sabonis is a good fit. Not such a threat as a stretch 5, but a good replacement center. Yeah, sure, but I'd sure rather have him coming off the bench and bringing excitement and energy to that second unit. But I hear that. Okay, Dom Ricci, we're going to get you rolling again. Base Kniff liking that under that Noli knows is on. Fred Gialli says, Pacers will kill the Hornets tonight. Pacers -5. Ron Lofton says, yes, you have to see starting lineups in NBA before betting, especially with this week before the All-Star break. Base Kniff, Charlotte 2-11 away after a win. That's a great stat. Mal, Charlotte, another bad team. Ski Prophet says, oh, I think he plays, though. Yeah, I do too, but when I'm putting my own money on these games, I just can't sit going, oh, I think Miles Turner is going to play, because I get so angry when I find out that these guys aren't going to play. Eric Jones is on the Pacers under 215. Let's take a quick look and see what the line movement's been. The total open at 217.5, now down to 215.5 and 215 at some books. The spreads open Pacers -5, now -5.5 across the board. Interesting stuff. Let's keep rolling. Oh, and you got Moss. This is a trap game. Pacers, in my mind, should be -8. This is going to take a little bit more time. And Kevin Rutham says, I read online that says Miles Turner not playing. Again, we should wait. We should wait. Dan Kelly says, teams on a 5-game win streak and a 4th straight game at home. Not a good spot for Indy. Wow. That's so interesting. So interesting. I would like to take the Hornets there, but they're just so bad on the road. King Rail says, Kawhi doesn't care. I said it weeks ago. Something happened between him and the team. And after you see the Raptors trying to trade Lowry, this has to be problems with him and Kawhi. It was the Spurs game. Wow. That's interesting stuff that I do not like hearing. And they sure did not look good at MSG on Saturday night. Let's keep rolling. Bucks at Bulls. Bucks coming off that 20-point loss to Orlando. That was wild on Saturday night. Now no Antetokounmpo, no Nikola Mirotic. It was their lowest scoring game of the season and their most lopsided loss of the season. Bucks had won 122-107 the night before. Again, tonight, we have a few teams on back-to-backs, and man, did they look bad on the second half of a back-to-back. They're 2-2 without Antetokounmpo. They're trying to rest his right knee. Each of the previous 3 occasions that they sat him, he returned to play the next game. I expect him to play this game too. He's listed. Oh, and Mirotic is listed as out tonight. The Bucks have beaten the Bulls in the first 2 matchups. When that 123-104 first game was very strange. Bulls went out to that 40-point first quarter or 42-point first quarter. They were up 20 at the half and still lost by 19 as the Bucks just turned on. But then the Bucks barely beat them in their recent matchup, 116-113. Milwaukee is going to be seeing a bit of a different look with these Bulls because Otto Porter is getting a ton of run, and he looks good out there. Porter's averaging 17.5 points in his first two games for Chicago. He's hit 6 of 10 threes, and that was a big problem for these Bulls was their outside shooting. The Bulls playing on the second half of back-to-back. The Bulls, just like the Bucks, the Bulls lost 134-125 at home to Washington. Oh, that was on Saturday. That was on Saturday I have here, so sorry about that. No, Saturday's loss with Chicago was 10th straight at home. 10th straight at home. Bulls haven't won at home in a long time. Bulls haven't won home since December 21st against Orlando. Chandler Hutchinson remains out for the Bulls. Dave LA says fade the Bucks right now. Thomas Gorgim says Giannis playing. Dan Kelly says Kawhi just wants to be in LA. He's just biding his time to get back to his family in SoCal. I agree with that. That's why I didn't like the trade, even though it looks like we're in the running to make the NBA Finals. We will see. Kamari K-Rock says can't fade the Bucks. You got Moss says everything about this game screams take Chicago, except that the Bucks were just embarrassed. Odar Lear saying Bucks Bulls under. Omaha 888 says Bucks will be mad if Giannis plays. Let's take a little look at what the movement's been on this game. Bucks Bulls. Milwaukee opens at 9.5-point favorites, quickly moves to 12 at BetOnline. Very interesting. Total at 218.5. Wow. BetOnline opened at 218.5. That must be a misprint. Let's see that. Let's check the line movement at BetOnline. Quickly, let's check. Sorry, my God. That was the wrong game. Sorry about that. That makes no sense. That was a wrong game there. Bucks, Bulls. Yeah, 218.5. Sorry. What the hell am I talking about? That's the right game. Has that really been a 10-point move? That's got to be some kind of mistake. Let's check what BetOnline's totals are. Yeah, no, that was a mistake. Mistake print. It opened at 2:28 and 9:41 a.m. Okay, so that was just a mistake. Let's keep rolling right along. Bucks, Bulls, 250 points, says Coven Rethman. Ski Prophet says Bucks are pass. Thomas Gorgim says Bucks coming off from a poor shooting performance. Chicago playing faster. Give me the over. King Rail says Bucks have scored 125 in the last 4 games. Yeah, first time since those Bulls with Pippen and Jordan have done that. And Gabe Pasquis says Lowry being a whiny bitch. Would have traded him off last week too. He and DeRozan were bad sports. Selfish little buddy bubbles. It kills chemistry in every sports dressing room. Man, it makes me sad reading that stuff, Gabe Pasquis. But I can understand somebody feeling that way. Bucks Bulls is the over in play. Sweaty Butcher says Bucks 13-0 straight up after a loss. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they win this game. We're just wondering, will they cover? And we'll break down this game more in the late show. Let's keep rolling. We have a couple games left. 3 games. Oh, shit. We got 4 games left before we get to my man Maxwell Smart. So let's keep rolling and try to quicken up the pace. Joe Ramirez says Bucks might be a first half play. Yes. You know, I'm gonna reach out to one of our stars, NBA stars, to the King Rail, Jay Money, and Ski Profit, one of these guys, to see if they can join me on this late show and help with the with this, because there is 9 games. There's only 3 NHL games, so it'd be nice to have somebody come in and join me for the late show. If any of you guys watch King Rail, if you're watching, love to have you on this. It is a tricky card with all these back-to-backs. We're going to be getting more injury information. So, King Rail, if you're available, I would love to have you jump on this late show. I'll connect with you guys on Twitter. Mavericks at Rockets. Rockets coming off 117-112 loss at home to the Thunder on Saturday night. They're just incapable of getting. Oh, Dom Reach said I'm confused. What's the total in the Bulls game? It's gone down a little. Oh, it's stuck. Sorry, it opened at 228 and it's 228 across the board. Sorry, I thought it had gone down a half point, but it has stuck. Kevin Ruthman says I think OKC 6.5 minus 6.5 is a safe play. We will get to that. Lamont Williams says Jimmy, what's your NHL plays? Oh, my man Jose Villegas, beautiful, says what Jimmy? Can't wait to see us in Anita next week. Come join us for our live tapings too. We want as many cappers there live as possible. We got a studio rolling. King Rail says hit me up, Jimmy. Perfect. Kind of like the OKC over, says Ski Profit. We're going to get to that game. Let's talk about this Maverick Rockets game. But my man Lamont Williams wants to know my NHL. Remember, I'm coming off a bad week, Lamont. Coming off a bad week, but this is usually the time of year where I get rolling, so I don't expect it to continue. Flyers money line plus 107. Capitals minus 1.5 at plus 140. And the under 6.5 in the Canucks game at minus 109. Okay, let's roll into this NBA card. And Matt Randall, yeah, those are NHL plays Flyers, yeah. Mr. Gokster, we will be capping horses very, very soon. I miss it very much. Okay, Mavericks, Rockets. Rockets coming off that 117-12 loss, 112 loss at home. Okay. Okay, sweet. Okay, beautiful. Max, well, smart. Good to go. Thank you, guys. Okay, Rockets just incapable of defending for 4 quarters. They stop playing defense at some point in every game. It's very, very difficult to back this team because you feel like you're in the right spot, and then they just get destroyed for a quarter. They finished 7th in defensive rating last season, 105.5 points allowed per 100 possessions. Then 25th this season at 112. Since January 1st, they're 113.8. What a terrible defense. 11-8 over that period of time. Now, they're going to get Clint Capella back after the break, but right now, it's a tricky spot. And James Harden, probable with left shoulder soreness. You don't like reading that. Mavericks are on the second half of a back-to-back. As soon as I know that Harden's in the lineup, I think these Rockets smash these Mavs. This is just so tough. Now, look at Doncic. I mean, he's playing spectacularly well. I imagine he'll step up. Hardaway's playing very well, too. He got 24 points in that big comeback last night, 102-101. Mavericks have beaten the Rockets in both matchups this year. This all, to me, spells the Rockets are going to smash them. Fred Gialli says Rockets will bounce back after the embarrassing loss to OKC on Friday. Shout out to Blue FM. Says new look Raptors will cover. Omaha 88 says Rockets need Capella back. They ain't going anywhere. Base Kniff says hard to see Rockets lose this one. I agree completely. Oh, wow. Jose hit the pick 5 at Santa Anita for $1,050 on a $6 play. Oh, man, Jose. God, I love reading that. Okay, you got Moss says I agree on Rockets -10. Odar Lira leaning Rockets. Let's just quickly look at the line movement in this Rockets spot. But I agree. I think this just makes sense. It's -10. It's moved to -10.5 at some books. The total's gone up a point or a half point. I feel like the Rockets will win by double digits. Walla Walla Dose says Harden definitely in today. Probable at this point. That's why I'm going to wait. And Ski Prophet says Rockets 1-6 when spreads -11 to -8. And that's a great point, but I wonder what it is when they're facing a team on the second half of a back-to-back, because it just feels like the Mavs are going to be a tired group from that great comeback last night. King Rail says Mavs didn't beat the Blazers yesterday. Blazers beat themselves. Mavs have turnover issues. Mavs are working in a new group. I think the Rockets can cover this double-digit spread, but maybe just Rockets early might be a more comfortable spot. I'm going to take a little bit more time. Matt Randall liking Savannah State money line is a max bet today. Let's keep rolling, and then we'll hammer this more, hopefully with King Rail on the late show. Clippers at Timberwolves. Clips on the final game of a 6-game road trip. They've looked good so far, 3-2, coming off that 123-112 victory over the Celtics. They've moved Zubac right into the starting lineup. He had 12 points, 9 boards, 3 blocks against the Celtics. Garrett Temple also started at shooting guard, which was a surprise to me. 11 points in his first game since January 25th. And look at Landry Shamet. Three-pointers, scored 17 points off the bench. Doc says he's going to use him just like they use JJ, just because he's a great spot shooter. And that makes sense to me. Wolves coming off their 4th straight loss. Their guard 122-117 New Orleans on Friday, but the guards are coming back. The guards are getting healthy again. Jeff Teague returned against New Orleans after coming off the bench for the first time this season. He missed 8 games with an ankle injury. He played 17 minutes Friday. I expect him to get a little bit more run in this game. Derrick Rose practiced on Sunday. Now, I mean, Jared Bayless, sore right toe, questionable. Tyus Jones isn't coming back until after the All-Star break. As soon as they get point guards again, then we can go back to trusting their pace and trusting this basketball team. Until then, they probably should be a fade. But Odar Lira liking the T-Wolves here. Base Kniff says Wolves 0-5 against spread, last 5 games at home. Raul Porwando liking the over in the Bulls game. Interesting. And Fred Gialli liking the over the T-Wolves. I can't trust the T-Wolves to get enough buckets. I just can't. If I'm going to take an over in any of these games, I would take the team they're playing team total over just because of the issues at point guard. Now, well, if Teague is healthy, maybe he rolls. Troy V says, I like how the Wolves have been playing. Oh, no, sorry, that's Wolverhampton. Okay, let's keep rolling here because we got Max ready to rock and give us some ideas of what he's looking at for this late squad. Gate Pass Key says, Max, stop pulling the goalie. We can see you. I like it, Gate Pass Key. I also like seeing Max in that small corner. He's ready to go. Okay, Blazers at Thunder. We've had a lot of talk about Thunder maybe being the play in this game. Westbrook enters the game against the Blazers, having recorded triple-doubles, 9 straight games, tying Chamberlain's record. Thunder 10-1 in their last 11, and that was a 26-point comeback Saturday at Houston. Jeremy Grant listed as out with a right ankle sprain against the Blazers. Grant played 35 minutes on Saturday. It's very strange. I don't know when he got hurt. This will be his first DMP of the season. Blazers are on the second half of back-to-back, but they look so bad in that 4th quarter. Do they come out stronger? Do they come out strong early? What the hell are they going to do in this game? They've won 7 of 9, but that 4th quarter was absolutely awful. First time all year that Portland had lost the game after leading going into the fourth. McCollum had scored at least 30 points, 3 straight. He went 6 for 17 for 14 points. McCollum and Lillard were combined 1 for 8 from the floor. Blazers are 3 games behind the Thunder in third place in the Western Conference. They need this game. And are they going to be a spot early? Are the Blazers going to be a spot early? First quarter, maybe, after that terrible fourth quarter last night. That's interesting. And Jim Foray saying, I'll take the Mavs plus 10. Interesting. And Bud Nino says, T-Wolves over might be the play. Look how many road games the Clippers have had. Yes, they're on the 6-game road trip, but they've looked good. Okay, I'm thinking about Blazers first quarter, and I will be asking King Rail if he joins us. We'll get somebody to join us. And finally, we have this Heat Nuggets. So we have 9 games on this NBA card. And again, teams are on second half of a back-to-backs. We're wondering whether Kawhi is going to play. We expect Antetokounmpo to be in the lineup. We got Harden dealing with shoulder soreness. This is a spot where we want to gather information and then use it for the late show. Fred Gialli says leaning Blazers minus 6.5 and the under. My initial thought on that Blazers game was to take the Blazers to cover, but that's tricky here. Okay, and David Ellis says Heat are now on my ban list. I can understand that. They are a tricky team to back because they're so good on the road. And even though they've lost 2 of these 3 road games so far, they've looked good in all of them. Heat at Nuggets. Nuggets finished off a tough 4-game road trip with 117-110 loss to Philly. They opened up with a 1-point win in Minnesota, then lost by 26 at Detroit, 5 at Brooklyn, and then 7 at Philly. They have 2 more home games before the All-Star break, and I think it's sort of a get-right spot for them. I actually expect them to play well here. Gary Harris and Paul Millsap. Harris dealing with the adductor strain. Millsap dealing with foot soreness. He'd have lost 5 of 6, but I like the way they've looked on this road trip. But that was a very tough game last night. Second half of a back-to-back. Fred Gialli liking the Blazers as well. Matt Randall asking, did you catch Jimmy's pneumonia? No. Max is all good. Max, thank God for Max. Because I want to start screaming. You know I want to scream and yell on this show. But I've got to stay calm. Ray Bruges says, fading the Heat first home game after the road trip, Jimmy. Yeah, that makes sense, Ray. That makes a ton of sense. Well, at this spot, I want to take a little bit more time. But I like the Nuggets here. I think the Nuggets make a statement. But are they going to cover 10.5 points to a Heat team that's playing well on the road? And a Heat team that has a lot of options on the bench? I'm going to take a little bit more time on this Heat Nugget spot. So that is the NBA card. 9 games. And I'm going to make a lot more moves on this NBA card when we break it down on the late show. At this point, the only move I'm making is the Knicks money line plus 107. And without further ado, I see my man Maxwell Smart joining us on a Monday morning, refreshed from a softball tournament on the weekend, ready to get down to capping. Maxwell Smart, my man, how are you this morning?
I'm doing really good because Sunday was a very successful day as far as me putting out some Twitter plays for us LoBaggers. I have had a little trouble doing that, but yesterday was really good. We hit a parlay. We had a nice first half on Northwestern, and I'm ready to keep it going today. We had a good Thursday and Friday. I hate Saturday. Saturday was still another shit day for me, but I'm fluids emptied. I'm refreshed. Strippers had their chicken tenders, and bookies got cock soup. So let's get right to it.
That sounds like the protocol. Sounds like we are ready to roll. You are coming off an excellent week. Your pick of the day for the LoBag pick of the day was extremely successful. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you went 4 for 5 last week on the LoBag pick of the day. We've got some very, very interesting stuff. And I know that you're going to do the bulk of your work in the afternoon. So why don't we just let you lead us into this, Max? What are you looking at? What games are you focused on? And I'll just start asking you questions about them.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that we should start with the big games, the games that everyone wants to talk about. And of course, if we're going to talk about the big games, we got to talk about the biggest one, and that is Virginia versus North Carolina. We got a serious game tonight because what is Kobe White going to do for North Carolina? He has been on fire. He has really taken the role of top scorer on this team. He's averaging 20 and 6, and if he can shoot 3 points over this pack line defense of Virginia, you're going to see North Carolina do what Duke did to Virginia again tonight.
I agree with that breakdown completely, especially watching how well North Carolina has been playing lately. I think that they can score against Virginia. I know Virginia's a great defensive team, but if any team can score right now against them, and we just saw Duke do it, why not North Carolina? I like it. This total is being bet down. Bet Online opened it at 143. Now it's at 140.5. So do you have any feel on the total here?
Yeah, right now I'm not inclined to make any play on the total. When I'm looking at North Carolina totals specifically, I'm always looking for them in the 155 to 162 range. At 142, 143, anywhere in this range, it's just not something that I'm going to have a good feel for North Carolina. And I'll be looking to tail one of the other top cappers like Red Girl, who really knows this North Carolina team as far as totals.
Makes a lot of sense to me. In North Carolina, it makes a lot of sense to me. Somebody mentioned Budnino says I think North Carolina is the dog now. It opened up at a pick'em at Bet Online, and Bet Online has North Carolina as a favorite. Pinnacle has, and I'm telling you, watch when Pinnacle leads the way on a move. You can, if you just started blindly hammering when they're leading the way on a move, I'm sure. Now I don't have numbers to back it up, so I shouldn't say you'd be successful, but it feels that way. Pinnacle at -1.5, 5 dimes at -1.5, bookmaker -1. The only book right now that has Virginia as a favorite, at least on my front page, is Bovada, who has Virginia at -1. Hail to the Victor says Virginia money line. I'm really looking forward to break this to break this game down throughout the day and on the late show. DJ Big Boss, too big, too strong. Gonna be a chase of baskets. Virginia can't stop them. I agree, Max. I almost want to make a move on North Carolina right now. Have you made a move on them, or are you gonna wait?
No, I'm definitely gonna be waiting, but I do understand what your point is about Pinnacle. When I look at the SBR page, which I always have open on my computer whenever I'm capping, I only look at Pinnacle. As far as line movement, like you said, they are the sharpest. That's why they can freaking pay out the biggest and keep winning cappers on their book. So I'm going to be looking definitely a lot more at this game, but it's going to really come down to what kind of inside post presence North Carolina is able to put out tonight. Because if you're going to have Cam Johnson playing up to his potential, really driving, getting to the free throw line, I think that Virginia just doesn't have the athletic front court pieces with Diakate questionable and that leaving Jack Salt. I don't think Braxton Key has enough size to really be a difference maker on defense versus North Carolina's size. I think that this is just a bad matchup. I'm not going to subscribe to the theory and ideology that this is a rebound game for Virginia or that somehow they're not going to get up for this game. I just think from a talent and situations perspective, North Carolina has some very obvious advantages.
I agree. I agree completely. And money keeps coming in on North Carolina, and it makes sense to me. Bet Online opened it at +103. Now it's -117. I like it so much that, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take it right now. I think that I'm getting the best of it here. Bovada still giving +1 at -115 for North Carolina. So what's the money line of Bovada? I'd be very curious to see what the money line here. Bovada is not hanging a money line. Interesting. Not hanging a money line, but giving +1. I guess I'm gonna line shop while we talk about another game and figure out the best spot. But I agree. I think North Carolina is a play here, and I'm gonna make it. What else are you looking at today, Max?
Well, as far as the smaller conferences, there's a really good game that's going to go down in the Patriot League between Lehigh and Bucknell. So Bucknell's giving up 4.5 points. I'm going to probably be leaning and studying and looking towards taking Lehigh tonight. I think that Lehigh, with the 3-point shot and the depth scoring that they have, if you get Nate Sestina in foul trouble for Bucknell, you really cut down on their offensive program that they're trying to run. They're trying to run in and out. They're trying to bring out the big men to the perimeter to get them open for shots. They're trying to clear the lane for guys like Kimball McKenzie to drive. So this is going to be a real interesting stylistic matchup, and I'm going to be looking towards the dog in this type of game. I think that Bucknell at home has just not been the ATS casher that you want to depend on. And if you've been betting on Lehigh all year, they've been making you money. So right now, I'm not playing any of these bets. I'm just giving you guys my first glance, but I will be looking towards Lehigh in the afternoon in my study.
We'll be looking towards Lehigh at +4.5. Why don't we talk about some of the other big games and then just give us an idea of how to lead us into study for the afternoon. We have number 13th ranked Kansas going to Fort Worth, play TCU. It opened at +2 for Kansas, and money continues to come in on TCU. Now it's 2.5. There's a 3 at 5 Dimes. There's a 3 at Heritage, a 3 at Intertops. What are you thinking here, Kansas at TCU?
Yeah, no, this is going to be a tough game for me. I'll probably be looking towards the under in this game. I'm not sure about the sides right now because you're going to have to assume that eventually Kansas is going to win a road game. It's just a matter of when and against who. And right now, I think that with LeGerald Vick being dismissed from the team for the time being, I think that takes away a lot of guard depth for this team. I think it takes away a lot of leadership and experience. And going on the road, you can never have too much leadership and experience and a guy who can go off for 30 points. So Jalen Fisher obviously has left the team. Alex Robinson has had an ankle injury. But I think that TCU is definitely going to be able and up for this game. I think they have the pieces to beat Kansas. I'm just not looking to make a play on the side. The under is something that I'm definitely looking for. And if I see the line starting to move in the afternoon, I'm going to jump on and I'll post it on Twitter.
Yeah, that total has gone up a little bit, but Max never has fear about going up against the market. BetOnline opened that up at 148.5 and is now hanging at 149, so just slightly moving up. There are 148s at some books, but 149 mostly across the board. Let's see what people are. Oh, and Noah Lastark saying they will win on the road today. Headshot says, ask Max if he really likes any games that the line might move. Is there any spots that you think there'll be a market correction on?
I think that you got to just watch and wait to see how this Savannah State Morgan State line moves. I don't agree with the line movement already and how it's already shifted to Morgan State at 1 from Savannah State at -1.5. I think that the perception of Savannah State is false. I think that a lot of people have a false representation of how this team's playing. And I think that at home, at this price, and now as a plus money dog, I'm going to be looking towards them. I just don't agree with the line movement in that game. And I'm not understanding the line movement in this Delaware State, North Carolina Central game. I've watched a lot of North Carolina Central. This is a vastly different team on the road and at home. And I think that at home against a Delaware State team that's 1-16 on the road, regardless of their ATS record, this is a team that the only time that they really got up for a game on the road was versus Delaware, and they won as a 21-point dog. So aside from that, they're not really doing much. And North Carolina Central is the type of team that will hang 30 on you and beat you up, and they won't give a shit. They won't call the dogs off. So I'll be looking to get on North Carolina Central. I want to see if that line goes down, maybe half a point or a point more. Who knows with the way the college basketball movement goes. But those are two games that I'm looking at as far as line movement. And then I'm just trying to the biggest question for me for my afternoon study is going to be, what is the status of Nick Thomas for Norfolk State? They played without him against Bethune-Cookman and lost. I've seen that the line has moved now to Florida A&M as a -1 from a 1-point dog. I have been bitten by Florida A&M, but they are playing their best basketball of the year in conference. They're 7-3. Norfolk is undefeated still, but they're 5-7 on the road. So tonight may be the game that they lose on the road if they don't have Nick Thomas.
Nice breakdowns. I like a lot of this. So looking at the chat, a couple things coming up, though. Max, your boy Lopez coming from Twitter liking North Carolina +0.5 first half, where it certainly seemed like most of the people on the chat were liking Virginia, even though Max and I were definitely leaning to North Carolina. I've not locked North Carolina in, but I certainly want to right now. We are going to talk a little bit about Oklahoma Baylor, but first, Red Girl liking Norfolk. Troy V liking North Carolina Central says they will crush. More talk about Kansas on the road. Alex Mabry 1-6 on the road against the spread is Kansas. Mally Mal liking Savannah State. Matt Randall loving Savannah State. Max Bet, he wrote. And Mally Mal liking Norfolk as well. Sports majors also Norfolk or nothing. Oklahoma at Baylor, Max. You have any leans? It started -4 at BetOnline, and now there's 4.5s on the board. The total opened at 138. It's being bet down at almost all the books, but just slightly 137 and 137.5. But note, Pinnacle's leading the way there at 137. What are you thinking here? Oklahoma at Baylor.
Yeah, I'm simply thinking if Makai Mason plays for Baylor, Baylor's to play at home. This is a team that is just very different, very confident, yet still capable to play good defensive basketball with him in the lineup. But you need his shooting. So I think that it's pretty simple for me. It's either Makai Mason plays and I back Baylor, or I don't play this game at all and I wait to make a play live. And that's about it for me on that game.
Robbie Dagaloa liking Baylor, Oklahoma first half under. Shane Comer saying the play of the day is Baylor -3. Good job getting the -3. Cannot get that anymore. Red Girl, Baylor, and leaning towards the under. Free picks is your man, Max says, love Oklahoma. Fred Gialli also liking Baylor -4. Very, very interesting stuff. Dan Kelly saying, shh. Jimmy the Distiller is working his magic. We are going to get those numbers out, though, exactly when I started just listening and not forcing the work myself when I do just want to focus on NHL and NBA this time of year, and NFL, of course, which is now over. And they're pretty nice. It's a pretty spectacular run I've had just listening to the experts do their thing, Max being one of those experts and the main guy that I listen to. Angel Romero says, yo, Jimmy, just heads up, I convinced my lady to push back our Ensenada Mexico trip, so I'm down to party and do it up all, bro. Oh, that's beautiful, Angel Romero. We need you to come in live to the studio as well, not just the party Saturday night, so we can hear some of your plays and run with you in person. That's great news, Angel. Shout out to you, man. I'm so excited about going to LA next week and shooting the week in LA. It's just incredibly excited about it. Well, Max, you're so good with these small schools. What else are you looking at just to move us forward in the afternoon of study?
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be leaning towards some of the double-digit favorites like North Carolina, AT&T. I like to add the extra T just because I love the phone company. So
Sure.
yeah. Aside from that, I'm gonna definitely be taking a look at Mississippi Valley State and the under in that game. I'm liking the lines going in the opposite direction. The Sacramento State game, I'm leaning towards Sacramento State. I'm gonna be trying to cap in a way that validates the play so I can make it. And then also I'm going to be advising everyone to look at Howard tonight as a 4.5 to 5 point underdog. I think that this is a money line dog spot along with the Lehigh spot. I think that they're both straight up money line dog spots that we could be cashing on, but I will wait till the late show to make it. So please come back and watch them.
I can't wait to have you on the Late Show. Also, Drew Martin will be on the Late Show as well. So we're going to have Drew Martin and Maxwell Smart hammering this college basketball card, and hopefully we'll have King Rail. The only 3 NHL games, I've already made my plays on them, so I hope we get through that within 2 minutes. If King's available, get King out right away, and then get Drew and then Max. I think we're going to have an excellent show. Jose Villegas says, Jimmy, you got to relocate to LA or Vegas. They're two spectacular cities. My parents met in Vegas and divorced shortly after in Canada, but they met in Vegas. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Las Vegas. But Jose, I can't wait. So Santa Anita on a Monday, Friday, we got a studio. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, going to fill that studio up with Hennessy and all of us hanging and capping together. I absolutely can't wait. Now I've heard that King and Jay Money are going to come and hopefully shoot King's Court in the studio, which I'll stick around and hang with them. So it's going to be an absolutely spectacular week next week in Los Angeles, the bag hitting the road. Well, we got a nice college basketball card, a card where we can hammer each and every one of these games. We're going to hear what Drew likes on them. Then we're going to hear what Max likes on them. We are going to make that money on this show today. I think we're going to have a great week. 9 NBA games. Going to have King help us through them. 3 NHL games. I like what I see here. Now, the Tuesdays and Thursdays are going to be very heavy games with tons of action. Hopefully, we'll have the TriCaster up and rolling so we can have records and all that good stuff. But Oliver Page says, Jimmy, no guest today. Oh, yeah, we just had Max on, and we're going to have 3 more. What a treat it is to roll with you, Max. Yeah, and I'm not exaggerating when I say you improve the quality of our life. Friday would have been a really bad day for me if it wasn't for your college basketball action. And also, I think you saw I moved my college basketball bets from $100 to $150, and it saved me again. College basketball has been doing that thanks to your hard work. Maxie, you have anything you got to say to our team, to our LoBag fam? And much love. Thank you for joining us.
Well, I always have the same two things to say, and I will keep on saying them. Obviously, serve your bookies cock soup. That's what we're here to do. We're a team. We're a familia. We're the LoBaggers. So let's keep on doing that. And of course, take your winnings to the local strip club. But first, stop off at the local Popeyes. Leave the KFC alone. Get some chicken tenders. Bring them over to those strippers because they need the sustenance to keep on dancing and making those tips. Support local strippers, and come back at 6 o'clock and hear what I got to say about the Late Show. And make sure, obviously, you tune in for King Rail, Jimmy the Bag, and Drew Martin.
Love it. Love it. They do need their sustenance, Max. They do need their sustenance. All right. I want to freak the fuck out during these shows. I want to smash computers. I want to scream real loud, but I've been just having such a tough time with my health, and I've got to stay calm. Thank God for Max bringing in the energy. I want to bring in the energy so bad. And I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining us. This is all about working together as a team, finding angles, finding winners. We've been doing a great job at that. I'm coming off a bad week. I expect victory this week. Much love to you guys. We're going to catch you soon, not long from now, in 5 hours. Is that right? Yeah, 5 hours and 24 minutes. We're going to meet after our afternoon study and get those winners. Much love to you guys. Good luck in your afternoon study.